now connected to Stone 1400 Mini.
So here we have the Bode Mini 1400. It's the younger brother of the Bode 1400, which is a 30 watt speaker, and this is an 18 watt speaker. It's identical to the elder brother. It's much more compact than the elder brother, and rightly so. I do like this form factor quite a lot. Now, what makes it special? Before we get into that, let's put some perspective into what is the right size that you need to go for. Now, as you can see, dimensions, these look quite big, but it's not that heavy. This is close to 500 grams, and it can be carried on very easily anywhere you want to take. Now, to add some perspective, what we really have here is this, the Bose SoundLink Mini. Now, why would I compare a Bose speaker to a Bose speaker? Does it even make sense? Well, I'm not going to make any sound comparisons here. I'm not even going to do an audio comparison here. But the whole idea is I just wanted to get a reference point to understand that this was, and by and large is still, considered as one of the finest compact Bluetooth speakers. Compared to the ones that you get on the market, you don't have anything that is so tiny and is able to generate that much power. So this has been legendary for many years now. This has been with me about 5 to 6 years, and yeah, I mean, I still love it. Now, is it the best Bluetooth speaker around? Not necessarily. This isn't the types which will appeal to any audiophile. There is a clan of anti-Bose around, and that's why we won't get into that discussion. But what is impressive about this Bose is the fact that something this small can generate a lot of power. And that was the USP of the speaker, and even today, this is still true. The sheer bass that is generated by this tiny little fellow is amazing. Now, so from a size perspective, I still think that the Bose is great. But now, why do I put this in front of it? So that you get a perspective, okay, if I am investing in a Bluetooth speaker, how does it compare with the Bose in terms of form? This, as you can see, can be carried anywhere. I just put it in a bag. This can kind of fit into a bag because it is much smaller than the 1400. But you know what? You don't really need to. The way this is built, and with the straps that it has, you're just going to dump it. You can just put it anywhere. You can put it on the ground, you can put it on the foot floor of your car, or even the boot of your car, and nothing's really going to happen to it. And that's something which I really like about this. Can I take the Bose outside, outdoors? Well, maybe a house party, yes, but can it be used for a pool party? I'll have to make sure that this is kept really far, because this doesn't have an IPX rating. But the Bose has, it's rated to resist to water and dust. It's not completely waterproof, but I guess it holds on pretty well. I mean, we did a pool party. This was out in the rain a little bit, but it did not create any problems, and rightly so. It is pretty well sealed. First of all, its base radiators on the either side, they're covered with this hard plastic, and then you've got the seal which is pretty strong here, so that's not going to be a problem. So I think from a form factor perspective, this is a good little unit. Now if you go anything smaller than this, then you are entering into the personal Bluetooth space that is not going to generate a lot of sound, and it's not going to go beyond this room. If you are interested in something of that sort, then of course there are a lot of options, and in the coming weeks I will definitely review that. But if you want something which is going to do a good job outdoors, but can be used indoors as well. And how can you do that? In the sense, is this something that can be used every day? Does it have a good battery backup? It's claimed 6 hours by boat. I did test it based on how much you keep your volume high, say 50 to 70% if it is what you're going to keep, then this should last you at least a little over 5 hours. That's how I tested it to be. Now when I'm not listening to music, what I'm going to really do with this is, at the back I showed you the aux port. It's got an aux port. I connect this to my television, and presto, it is doing my television audio duties, and it sounds really good. Now that's what I've been doing with my Bose, because not many times you are taking this out on a trip. It's sitting in the house, and anyways it has a limited usage from an outdoor perspective. So it sits right below my TV in my bedroom, and it generates that powerful sound, kind of a live music sort of sound signature is what a Bose has. On the contrast, this boat sounds a little more bright. It does have good mids and highs, so if there is nothing thumping in your content, it sounds pretty bright, and you can listen to the audio, you can listen to the dialogue delivery. If you're listening to a news, you can listen to that carefully. If you are watching sports, the sound of the audience plus the commentators, that sounds pretty good. And the moment the content switches over to ad, you still get the thump, what it's being really sold for. What really boasts about that thump that they have, and this certainly has not as much as the elder brother, but this gives you enough thump that one could ask for. Now it's got another little brother, the Boat 1000, which has been immensely popular. The only advantage over the 1000, I would say, is you can connect 2 of these, and you can create a stereo sound effect. That's the advantage over the Boat 1000. Now let's come to the ports again, so that you can take a look what you have. I mentioned about the aux, and then it's got the USB player. You can connect a USB, and it's going to play. I'm not a big fan of these kind of features, because it's going to you don't have control over the music much, and at times it shuffles. So, but yeah, I mean, it's there. And then this is Type C. It's the best thing that they could do. So you have one charging cord. All the smartphones today have a Type C, so I don't have to carry another wire when I'm out and about in the outdoors. One more thing which I would like to mention, the good part about this thing is, now, as I mentioned, I did not do a sound comparison, and why would you? But the only reason I did a sound comparison is to see how the aux port works when I connect it to a TV. And it was plenty loud. Now, how would I define the sound signature? Well, the bass is really thumpy. It is really loud. To a certain point, till you're, say, 70 or 75% of the volume, you can see, or you can hear the separations pretty well. But once it goes beyond that, it is pure noise. And it's not that it distorts, there is no distortion, but the bass is so overwhelming that it's going to muddy out the rest of the sound. The mids and the highs are something, I mean, you can't really get the separation out. Now, not that Bose does a great job at it. It also muddies the music pretty much because its USP is the thumb. But if you keep this about 70%, you do hear good separation. You do hear the mids and the highs, which are pretty good. By no standard are these, is an audiophile going to be happy with these? Not necessary, but for the most part, it does a great job. And for the price, well, you talk about a Bose, this thing costs about 16,000, and this guy here costs just 3,000. So now you see the cost difference. If there's such a big cost difference, you can't say that about the sound. So you can't say that, oh, this is 3,000, so the music that's going to come out of this is going to be like subpar or way below average, and that's not the case. This is much, it's better than average. It sounds really good until, as I said, until the 70% mark. And then you want something louder. You're not really going to miss the nuanced music. For instance, you're out and about in the outdoors, or maybe next to a pool. Your focus is not going to be to listen to the instrument separation. You're going to be either swimming, chatting, playing with your friends, and then you have something playing in the background, and which is capable of playing something really loud. That is the USP of this speaker. So my recommendation would be, yes, it is certainly a great buy. It is very well built, and this has become my favorite speaker these days, simply because I can just carry this around anywhere, and it won't even complain if I throw it on the back seat whenever I'm traveling anywhere. It's very well built. Well done, boat.